Hello, good afternoon. Afghan special forces have ended a siege in a luxury hotel in the capital, Kabul, 12 hours after it was stormed by gunmen. 6 civilians, 5 Afghans and 1 foreign woman were killed, along with all the militants. More than 150 people were rescued from the hotel by the security forces. The Taliban says it carried out the attack. Our correspondent Zia Shahreya reports for us now from Kabul.
The final moments of a fight that had lasted all night. Gunfire and explosions as Afghan special forces battled to regain control of the Intercontinental Hotel. One soldier throws a grenade. He moves away, then the explosion. The room is soon on fire, evidence of the struggle that had taken place. The Afghan national flag waving from the roof, proof that the building has been retaken. More than 150 people, including some foreigners, were inside yesterday evening when gunmen burst in and opened fire.
There were old people and children inside the hotel's rooms, and the attackers were knocking on the door of each room trying to reach their targets. They killed ordinary people and officials. They were also targeting foreigners.
These images filmed by local TV showed people escaping by climbing down bed sheets that they tied to balconies. This telecoms engineer fell from the 6th floor as he tried to get away.
When the 6th floor caught fire this morning, my roommate told me either escape or burn. I got a bedsheet and tied it onto the balcony. I tried to come down, but I was heavy and my arms were not strong enough. I fell and injured my shoulder and leg.
The Afghan security forces were deployed to the area, and 4 insurgents placed themselves in different floors of the hotel, opened fire against the guests in the hotel. And the latest figures we've got is that 6 people, including 1 foreign citizen, was killed in this attack. And now the Interior Ministry assessment team is inside the hotel. They're trying to find out and clear all different floors of the hotel. The hotel is one of Kabul's best known landmarks. It has high levels of security because it's used by politicians and foreign visitors. It was last attacked 7 years ago. This sustained and complex assault will prompt urgent questions as to how the gunmen got through.
Tens of thousands of people have taken to the streets in cities across America for the second Women's March, with many protesting against Donald Trump's presidency. The main rally will be held in Las Vegas later on. Marches are also taking place around the world, including in London, as Simon Jones now reports.
Hundreds gathered outside Downing Street, determined to make their voices heard. The message: time is up on the sexual harassment and abuse of women.
I just think it's really important to come together and speak out against violence against all women across the world.
Men haven't changed. Inequality in the workplace, we're still getting paid way more than women. It's completely unfair.
Today's noisy events are taking place a year to the day that tens of thousands of women took to the streets to protest against President Trump's first full day in office. Many here say a lot has changed over the past 12 months, but there is still much to do. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. The Trump presidency is very much the focus of marches that have already been held in the United States. Many repeated the slogan, "Build bridges, not walls."
I really wanted to just make sure this year the momentum was still kept up and that women's voices were heard.
I want to resist the racism that's happening in our country, especially with the commander-in-chief. He sucks.
Although the crowds in London are predominantly made up of women, the organisers say men are also welcome. They insist they're not setting out to demonise the entire male population, but looking for everyone to play their part in bringing about change. Simon Jones, BBC News, Westminster.
The UKIP leader Henry Bolton has insisted he will not quit his job. Mr Bolton says it's not right for the party's ruling body to judge him on his personal life. He's expected to face a vote of no confidence at an emergency meeting later today after offensive texts sent by his former girlfriend emerged last week. A man has been arrested after an 8-year-old girl was stabbed to death in the West Midlands. Police say they are treating it as a domestic incident and they're not looking for anyone else. Well, Liz Copper is in Walsall for us this lunchtime. What are the police saying, Liz?
Well, police say they were called to this bungalow around 9:15 yesterday evening. When they arrived, they found that 8-year-old girl with serious injuries. She was taken to hospital. Unfortunately, nothing could be done to save her life, and she died a short time later. A 54-year-old man was also taken to hospital. He has been taken there with an injury, a stab injury to his stomach. His condition is described as stable. Police say in due course they will be questioning him. As you say, West Midlands Police have said that they are treating this as a domestic incident, and as such they are not looking for anybody else in connection with this little girl's death.
Liz, thank you very much indeed. That's Liz Copper reporting from Walsall. Now, 2 climbers have been airlifted to safety in the Highlands after becoming stuck on a ridge. The pair were winched to safety from 3,000 feet up in the mountain in Glencoe. They'd first raised the alarm on Friday, but the poor weather meant they couldn't be rescued until yesterday morning. People with hidden disabilities in England could soon be entitled to blue badge parking permits under government plans. The Department for Transport said the change would make it easier for those with conditions such as autism to get access to the services that they need. Helena Lee reports.
The Blue Badge scheme was first introduced in England in the 1970s. Today, around 2.4 million people with disabilities have one. It allows them to park free of charge on roads and normally without a time limit. The government is now proposing to extend the scheme. It wants people with hidden disabilities and conditions like autism and dementia to be able to qualify for a blue badge, so they too can enjoy the freedom to get out where and when they want.
For many parents, they tell us that sometimes they don't want to go out, they don't want to take their autistic son or daughter out to the shops, out to schools and services and other places because they're worried about what might happen. But if they can park much closer to their destination, then they can easily take someone away if there is an issue and if there are difficulties when they are out and about.
The Department for Transport says only some councils recognise hidden disabilities under the current scheme because they interpret the existing rules differently. The proposals would be the biggest change to the scheme since it was first introduced. The plans will now go through an 8-week public consultation. Helena Lee, BBC News.
Tennis now, and Carl Edmund has reached his first Grand Slam quarter-final. The British #2 beat the Italian Andrea Seppi in 4 sets at the Australian Open in Melbourne. Nick Parrott reports.
Carl Edmund could barely stand after his last match in Melbourne. Now he's reached greater heights than ever before. The mercury was at a merciful 26 degrees, but early on it looked like Andrea Seppi could prove too hot to handle. 27 places separate them in the world rankings. On court it was much closer, with the Italian taking the first set on a tie-break. At 33, Seppi has a decade's experience on Edmund, and at times it showed. The Briton was broken first, but a change of footwear led to a change in fortunes as he went on to level the match. Winning 5 games in a row saw Edmund grow in confidence and Seppi's stubborn resistance drain away. It took almost 3 hours to set up the biggest match of his career, but Edmund isn't getting carried away.
You know, I have to believe I'm going to win and believe in my game and stuff, so that's the way I've approached it, 1 match at a time, and I'll continue to do that.
Whatever happens next, Edmund will climb the rankings and give hope that Britain has found a successor to Andy Murray. Nick Parrott, BBC News.
Well done to him. That's all from us. The next news on BBC One is at 6 o'clock. Goodbye for now.